Well, howdy do, buckaroos. How the heck are you, my friends? So I am here tonight, and I'm joined by Todd Renn out of Sellersburg, Indiana. Todd, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm pouring a flat, excuse me, a flat 12 hot, half cycle IPA.
The half cycle. They've changed the labels on that, and you sent me a
Yeah,
bottle, but I drank it already.
and it's a.
I
I had a
actually
couple
first
left in the
had that
fridge.
about. I first had that in 2013. A beer friend at the time, he since unfriended me on Facebook for whatever I think was political. But anyway, but the first time I had Half Cycle, he brought me a six pack of it. I just love that beer.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a good solid IPA in my opinion. It comes in at 6% ABV, and the bottle reads 104 IBUs.
Yeah, see, I mean, statistically, I mean, the ABV is that of a single IPA, but the IBUs are that of a double IPA.
And that's what they read on their website. And the reason they say that is because half of a cycle in baseball is
Is a
a
single and
single
a
and a
double.
double.
Yeah, yeah.
So and that's what they that's how they explain it too. Is just like you said.
So you and I both being baseball guys, we love those references, don't we?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I got one I'm going to send out to you too that Mad Tree Brewing does. It's called Rounding Third,
Rounding third, nice.
and I
I have
think
a, I
they.
have a, uh, I have a stout from Flat 12 in the fridge that you sent me, so I'm gonna do that one shortly too.
That one might be the porter. That's not the Rogues Run porter, is it?
It could be. I thought it said stout on it though.
It might be. It might have been a stout. I can't remember what I sent you.
Yeah, I can't remember now either. I have to get up and look. So I'll send my wife to look. No, no, I won't. She gave me a look.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, never mind.
It's like, how's that
So
going to work out
anyway,
for you?
yeah, I just opened this. I just purchased this today. Actually, it's a Mother's Little Helper IPA, 7%, 70 IBUs. Now this is my local brewery, so I've had this many, many, many times. But I picked it up because they just changed the packaging on it. They just changed the labels on it. They have these
Yeah,
new
so did I.
labels, so it's kind of a neat looking label. But it
Yeah, those
just
labels they're doing are sharp looking now. I think I like them.
I kind of wanted to make the point of how fast craft beer is moving. That you can't get complacent in the craft beer world. You have to keep changing your products. You have to keep changing your labels to stay current.
Well, and that's the way Flat 12, even though it's their home base is in Annapolis, and I've said a few times in some of our past videos, they've recently, within the last year, a little over a year now, probably have opened up a another tap house here locally.
Oh,
They're not
nice.
brew- they're not brewing beer here yet, but they are in the process of brewing beer here as well. So, and just like Mothers, they've also, like you mentioned, recently redone their standards,
Mhm.
rebottled and repackaged or new labels for all their standard stuff.
Well, the dirty little secret in craft beer is, it's just as much about marketing as it is about product. You can have a great product, but if you're not marketing the right way, you're not going to sell it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It just sparks a new interest when the label changes. Even though it's the same old beer, people still want to go out and buy the new package just to see if it's changed any.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to be honest with you. The beer feels a little bit different, not a lot different, but it feels a little bit different to me. So I don't know, but it has been a while since I've had it, so it could just be that I just don't remember correctly. But it does feel a little bit lighter in the body than I remember it. But it is nice, and it was less than $8 a six pack, which is crazy in today's craft beer world. Anything you can buy, any time you can buy something for less than $8 a six pack is awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. especially if you get a good a good IPA or something like that. You can find some of them, for under $8. Not a ton of them anymore, but there still are some
Yeah,
out
well, yeah, right now about anytime you can get something for about 8.99 a six pack is a great price right now. It used to be anything under 7 was okay, but now I mean you're lucky to find a decent craft beer for 9 these days.
which I think is what I think Lagunitas has done a fantastic job on because all their beers are, in relatively speaking terms, cheap.
Lagunitas, yeah, Lagunitas
Yeah,
does some pretty good stuff that's usually fairly reasonable.
yeah, because you can get like that hops. Was it the hop stupid and the um oh shoot, just went right out of my head. I'm terrible at memorizing anything anymore. Um,
Hey Todd, that's not going to get better with age. I'm just speaking from experience. That's not going to improve for you.
or with beer, right?
I,
Gus,
I
dang it.
actually turned I turned 51 this month on the 24th of May. I turned 51. So my experience is that it doesn't get better.
Oh, well, it was the one that they made, and you probably know what it is. It was originally the brown sugar recipe that they supposedly.
Oh,
What was it?
sucks. Lagunitas sucks.
Yeah, the sucks. Yeah, and you can buy the big, not really bomber style, but it's a little bit smaller for like $4.99 or $5.99 for the bottle, and it's bigger than your 12 ounce. But I don't think it's quite the. I don't think it's quite the full bomber size, but and to me, that's a really good beer for the price. I mean,
That's a good beer, yeah. Well,
yeah,
for a while there, that was available in 6 packs for about $10 a 6 pack. So I mean, that's a bargain. But
yeah. So you can find some good ones out there that are still
this Mother's
in
IPA
reason.
was like a 777 a 6 pack. So for less than 8, I got a very good quality IPA.
Nice. Now, what does Mothers usually run typically on their standard stuff? Is it typically in that
Most places
range?
I'm going to find this at about $9 a 6 pack.
Okay.
They're not
So that
crazy expensive. I just love them though. They came out a month or two ago. They came out with an uncanny IPA or uncanny APA. Wow, and that thing was just gorgeous. The uncanny APA. It was just beautiful.
yeah, I saw that when I follow them on all social media, Instagram, and all that. So I always see when they're coming out with their new releases and stuff. So not really
Yeah,
sure
they're
why.
doing
Not like
some
I can
great
buy them
stuff. I'm
here,
a
but
big fan of others. I've got a couple other breweries here doing some pretty good stuff too. Springfield Brewing Company is also doing some nice stuff. They're more of a brew pub, but over the last few years they've really stepped up their game and they're doing some current stuff as well. But White River started with a brewer, is no longer with them, but he had some great ideas. Now they've got a younger brewer who's really kind of changed, you know, how things are done out there. They've kept the original recipes, but now he's added some other beers, and now White River is really doing some great stuff out there. I've got a beer that I'm going to get out to you too. They've got an IPA called their Grapple Bar IPA, and that thing is just crazy good.
cool. I look forward to them.
Yeah, that thing it's more of a some is that originally IPAs were they were maltier, right? They were hoppier than a pale ale, but they were a more malty brew. But now they've excuse me, American craft versions now have become extremely light on the malt and big on the hops. Wow, this Gravel Bar IPA is just amazing.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
So
So, did you,
tell us more about what you're drinking right there.
so the half cycle, like I said, it's 6% ABV, 104 IBUs, and the new packaging they come out with. Oh, probably a couple months ago, I guess. Very. I don't. To me, it doesn't really feel the hops of 104, which you would expect it to be, like just in your face, and I don't. It doesn't feel that way to me.
I don't remember it feeling that way either. That it really is an amazing beer. I love the original labels, though, to be honest with you,
I
because I
did
like
too.
the old-timey baseball player it had on there.
I wish if I can find one. I think I'm just going to pick one up just to keep, just to have, with
Yeah,
no intention of ever opening it, just to have, because I like the logo on it. And sometimes you can
I
still
do
find
too.
them.
Being a baseball guy, that's the one thing I really liked about it was that the old-timey baseball player with the hat and the. Yeah, I love that.
They also came out with a Flat 12 made a special Doppelbock back during football season. It was called Deflategate,
Oh,
and it has a
I
deflated
didn't know that.
football.
That's funny.
Has a deflated football on it. Of course, being the big rivals with the Patriots and all right at that time. I think it might have been leading up to the matchup last year for the game, Indy versus New England. And on the can, they come out. They were 16-ounce can 4-packs, and it has their logo was like a deflated football with air coming out of the back end of it, like somebody just squashed the thing of it.
Oh man. Oh, I wish I had one of those just to have the label. Yeah, that was awesome.
And I kept it. Well, the reason why we brought that up was, thinking of the old half cycle bottle, is I kept a can of that just to have as a,
That's
you know,
funny.
just to keep on, just to keep it on hand for whatever reason. I'm not a big collector of things like that too much, but I thought that one was kind of
No,
cool.
actually, well, I wouldn't have. I would have saved the can, but I would have drank the contents. I'm not a guy that keeps stuff unopened. But yeah,
I don't typically either. For whatever reason, I did keep one of those full. And I still might just pop it open anyway for what the hell. But this one
so
is
how you
very
feel about baseball season so far this year?
what's that?
How you feeling about baseball so far this year?
About as I expected. Cincinnati started out good first week and a half of the season, and then back to what I expected this year to be not very good.
Any players you're excited about? Any prospects?
They've got one prospect. They haven't called him up yet. Jesse Winker. He's an outfielder. He's playing with the AAA with their AAA team, which happens to be in Louisville. The Louisville
Do you get
Bats.
out there to watch any minor league games? Are fun to watch, man.
Oh yeah, we go over. We didn't make it to as many last year, but they do a thing on their home games. $1 beers. Of course, it's just your macro Bud Lights or whatnot. Dollar beer night on Thursdays from like 5 to whatever time the first pitch is. So they kind of call it happy hour, after work happy hour. So you can go out on
Oh,
the
nice. That's pretty
have a
good.
nice
Okay.
big like overlooked deck out in the outfield, and it's just kind of a big gathering. Bunch of people after work hanging out, and a lot of them just go home before the game starts. Ain't quite figured that one out yet, but
Just come to drink cheap beer and go home.
yeah, pretty much, and just kind of an after work thing. But couple buddies of mine, we try to go to those a couple times a year anyway, just as a get together, but we'll stay and watch the games and whatnot. So
But minor league games are just fun to watch.
one for the price, you just can't beat it. I mean, you can go for you know $6, $7, $8 a ticket.
Yeah, most minor league parks, yes.
Yeah, here anyway you
Not
can.
mine. We have a double A. We have a double A Cardinal. We have the Springfield Cardinals here, and they a major league team, and the prices are crazy expensive. The beer prices are almost the same as a major league park. I mean, they're they're just nuts here.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy for minor league. I mean, the quality of baseball you see is pretty good,
You
and
can buy
most of the
bleacher
time,
tickets, I think, for about $10. But if you want to get closer to the field, I mean, they're still getting $20, $30 a ticket.
yeah, for minor league games, that's crazy. Of course, I guess they have to.
And they're still getting about $8 a beer out here, which is nutso.
That's probably, and that is the downfall. That's probably about what you pay for them at the game still here, which I
Even at
think
the
is what they
minor league
do.
park?
Yeah. I'm wanting to say they're 750 for a 16-ounce. I think Bud Light or Miller Light. I can't remember which they carry. They may carry both. Coors Light, whatever it
I mean,
is.
you expect to pay about $8-10 a beer at a major stadium, but man, I don't want to pay that at a minor league park. That just irritates me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not seeing, although AAA level, it's the quality of baseball. You probably see more
Triple A, you're
fundamental
really close.
baseball.
You got guys that are on their way to the window.
Yeah. So I don't know. I agree though. I think, I mean, even in Major League, paying that price at the Major League level is ridiculous too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah. When I used to go to games with Seamus and I would go to games every once in a while, and I never drank when we were there. So, but I look at the prices, going, "Damn, how can people afford to drink 4 or 5 beers a game?"
Oh, I know. I have a funny story. We before my dad passed away, he's a big Yankee fan, and now with the interleague play, you know the Yankees will come to Cincinnati every I don't know how often it is, 4 or 6 years, or however the rotation goes, you know, with the scheduling. And about 4 years ago, well, let's see, no, he's been passed away for 3 now, so it's probably been 6 years ago, I guess it was. New York came to Cincinnati, so me and my brother and a good friend of mine and my dad went. We actually got him to go. He's not one that really goes out to do much traveling of anywhere, you know. But a small trip to Cincinnati, that was fine. So we took him to Cincinnati to watch the Yankees play. And keep in mind, it's probably been 20 years prior to that since he had been to a ball game. He used to take us to Cincinnati games, you know, once or twice a year when I was a kid. Just
Mhm.
he enjoyed it more then. Now he was more, you know, at the time he was more of I'd just rather drink a beer and watch it on TV,
Yeah.
not have to drive anywhere. But anyway, we got him to go to the game, and you know, looking back, it was a good thing that we did get to see, you know, that he finally did get to see him play in person, and we first get there, and you know, they have the guys carrying the buckets around on the concourse area selling the beers. So he flags the guy down, and he was going to buy four beers, one for each of us, and he pulls out a 20, and the guy says that'll be let's see, what was it, about 8.50, so $32 or $33 for 4 beers. My dad
Mhm.
started to hand him a 20, and he was like, "Damn," he said, "I just want 4 beers. I don't want the whole damn case." And I was like, I said, "Dad, this isn't 1975 and Johnny Bench era anymore." I said, "Beers have gone up at games since the last time you'd been." I'll never forget that. It was funny.
No, that's yeah. Sounds like something my dad would have said. Yeah, I mean it's just insane what they get for shit these days.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, hot dogs, $5-6 for just a regular hot dog. You know, nothing special to it. I mean, you know, a family of four, how you can't hardly afford to go, but one time a year,
Yes,
you
that's
know.
what's crazy. I mean, it used to be a family thing. You go to a ball game, but the family can't. Even the minor league park. I mean, the minor league park here in town. I mean, I can't afford to take a family of four out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just gotten out of hand. And I mean, baseball's done it to themselves, allowing these crazy contracts that they, you know,
Yeah.
they've dug themselves in such a far hole, and their union, the player union, is so strong that they're never, you know, it's going to be hard for them to reel it back in. But if they could get the
Yeah,
teams
but
to kind of
I don't
boycott
blame
it,
the players' unions as much as many, though. I mean, I think the owners are equally at fault for raising the prices. They want to blame the players' union for the prices, but I mean, it's the greed of the owners too that's raising these prices up. It's not just the players. It's not just the unions.
that's true. No, that's true too. And also, I mean, I mean, you can
I
blame
mean,
the
the
owners
owners are making
for
a shitload of money. They say, no, we have to charge these prices because of the unions, but they're lying to you. They're wrong.
right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true too. But also, you can kind of blame the owners for paying these contracts that they do if they all just got together and be
Well, yeah,
like,
you
"We're
know,
not paying,"
absolutely.
you know.
But here's the thing: if you can get if you're worth about $10 an hour, but you can get somebody to pay you $30 an hour, they're going to pay you $30 an hour. Wouldn't you take it?
Oh hell yeah! I mean, you can't blame the players at
That's what's
all.
going on with all sports. You not just baseball. Is that you got guys making $30 million a year that really should only be making $1 million a year. If everything was in its proper perspective, us fans would have been gouged.
Right. No, I agree. Yeah, you can't blame the players at all on them. I mean, why wouldn't you try to, make the most that you can that somebody's willing to pay you?
But the owners have been rather successful about blaming the players and blaming the unions. But I think people forget that these owners are making a whole shitload of money.
Yeah. Well, I think really what it really hurts baseball for the most part is for the really small market teams.
Yeah, it does.
It
It does. You're
makes
right.
them hard to compete, like Cincinnati, and that's one thing that St. Louis has done very well over the last decade. Is I guess they're still considered a small market team. I mean, for the city size, I would assume. I guess.
But yeah, look at Kansas City last year. Look what Kansas City did. I mean, for
Right.
Kansas City for years, they went what 54 and
Right.
54 and 84, almost for decades. And all of a sudden, they became competitive, and the reason they did that is because they did everything right. They did their World Series winning team didn't have a lot of huge talent, but they had a great team that did everything well together. It's a lot like the 88. I'm trying to remember how old I was. The 88 Dodgers, I think,
Hmm.
that beat the Oakland A's. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to have. It's not necessarily having the most talent; it's having the right talent at the right time.
Absolutely, and you're right with Kansas City. I mean, they were a team. They're a team that just puts the ball in play, don't strike out a lot, and they just make you make. They just make you field the ball and make the play, make the routine plays.
I mean, they shouldn't have won. I mean, in all honesty, if you're looking at players, if you're looking at it on paper, they're not a team that should have won the World Series.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at payroll and player to player, I mean, they have some nice talent though. I wouldn't.
No, they had some great talent. I'm not saying they don't have talent, but I'm saying if you're looking at it from a sports book situation, they're not a team that should have won.
Right, which is the beauty of baseball, I think, because it's not you can't always just like New York Yankees have tried to do in years past, just put the biggest payroll out there.
Oh, damn. I lost him. I'm not sure what happened, but jumped off my screen there, man. I was about to make a point. Maybe he'll come back. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, no, he's absolutely right, though. I don't remember what I was going to say because all of a sudden he was gone, man. I know. I love baseball. I actually I was going to bring up an old Bob Costas line. Um, I'm going to phrase it. I don't remember exactly how he phrased it now, but it was basically baseball. You can't run out the clock. You have to play all 9 innings. That's why baseball is the greatest sport. Now he's trying to call me here. Hold on. Hey there. Oh, you cannot join the call. Huh. Who knows? I don't know what the hell happened. I'm going to invite him here to see if he'll come back. But Bob Costas basically said, again, I'm going to be paraphrasing. Baseball's a sport because you can't run out the clock. You have to play all 9 innings. Now, I'm not saying there's not talent in football or basketball, but you don't have to play the whole game. Oh, there you are. You're back. I lost you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you were
You just
talking. All of
went
a sudden you
blank on
were
me.
gone. So I think you lost your internet because you said you had some storms out there. But no, I was remembering old Bob Costas line. I'm going to paraphrase slightly. Is that baseball's the greatest sport because you can't run out the clock. You have 9 innings. Every team, both teams have the same amount of opportunity to score. You can't run out the clock. You can't hold the ball. You have to play all 9 innings. And that's what's different about baseball. I think for me, that's why I love baseball more than, say, football or basketball.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
You can't run out the clock. You can't hold the ball. Every team has exactly the same opportunity to score. Both teams have 27 outs.
Right.
What you do with that opportunity is entirely up to you. And that's what's different between baseball and football, basketball, and any other sport is that every team has exactly the same opportunities to get the job done.
Yeah, it's kind of makes it more of a chess match type of game.
Yes, thank you very much. Because I've often said that when folks say baseball's too slow, baseball's too slow. Other sports are checkers. Baseball is chess. But in their defense, to be honest with you, baseball has become a slower sport than it was. Even in the '70s, and even some in the '80s, it was a faster game than it is right now.
Yeah, and I think they've done a decent job in the last year or two to try to speed it up again. See, who was I watching the other day? Can't remember what the game was now, but they had mentioned that the minor leagues, and I don't recall this being there last year, that they are actually implementing a pitch clock.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
and it's starting in the minor leagues. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, and the reason why they were mentioning it was because the guy that was pitching, damn, I wish I could remember what the game was and who was actually pitching. Might have been a Cincinnati game, but I don't remember who was pitching. But they just recently called him up within that week to pitch that game, and he was a guy that was just grabbing the ball and getting back on the mound and wheeling and dealing again. And they mentioned it that the reason why he's probably quicker to the plate than most pitchers are is that they were pitching, having a pitch clock in the minor leagues.
I
So
think
they're
they need to start doing that back in the majors now. 'Cause it's become a very slow game. Back in the '70s and '80s, a game was 2.5 to 3 hours. Now we're looking at it about 3 to 4 hours a game.
oh yeah, and they're thinking the thinking was that they can if they can get in the mindset of these pitchers in the minor leagues as they're coming up to the majors that they're
They're
already used
quicker.
to going into that routine of pitching quick even without having that pitch clock in the majors. But I don't think it would be a bad thing to do that either.
No, I don't think so. I certainly don't think so.
So I mean, there really isn't a reason for a game to last more than 3 hours. 3 hours is pushing it. Of course, football is
Well,
successful, and
baseball used to be a much shorter game than watching a baseball game. But all of a sudden, you're looking at 3.5 to 4 hours to watch a baseball game now. That's because these guys are just dicking around.
but comparing, I guess maybe the difference is they only play 16 games a year. NFL. Their games are 3.5 hours long, but it's only once a week, I
Yeah,
guess, is the differential. The difference in the
it
two.
is. I mean, baseball's a marathon.
Yeah, I mean, you got to, 162 games.
I hear folks that are football fans that knock on baseball players not being real athletes. You've got guys that are, have to go 162 games. Maybe have as much physical contact, but it's a lot of wear and tear on the body to go a season that long.
Which is what is the most outstanding thing about Cal Ripken's record of games
Yeah,
played in a
I
row.
agree. I agree. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, I'm a 51-year-old man who's got bad knees, but but yeah, can you imagine with the wear and tear on the knees that's gonna? I mean, Johnny Bench was behind the plate a long time for a catcher. Can you imagine the wear and tear on that man's knees?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, shoot, you
I mean,
can't get in.
there's no wonder why he wanted to move his ass to first base. But when he was behind the plate, he was the best there was.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, hell, you can think of just your normal workers. Your workforce. Anybody, doesn't matter what you do, you'd find it hard pressed to find anybody that's probably even had that kind of a streak at your normal job.
No, I agree.
And not
Yeah,
miss a
it's
day.
amazing. Yeah, and I think that gets overlooked by a lot of folks that just follow football that don't look as as being hard athletes. It is a lot of wear and tear. I mean, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're playing. There's stretches where they're playing 14 days straight. Not just
Yeah,
once a week.
and
Of course, you don't have 300 pounders
you've got
trying to
double
break your neck.
headers. You're doing 2 games in a day. Can you imagine a football? Can you imagine football players playing teams in one day?
Mm. No, I mean, and they couldn't do that. I mean, they really couldn't. Just the physicality of it would be. not to say, baseball is physical, but it's not, you don't have 320-pound linemen chasing you down and beating you on every other play. But
it's a different kind of wear and tear, and that's my
right.
point is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, you shouldn't say this is harder than this if you haven't done this.
Right. No, and I agree. I agree with that.
So anyway, Todd, we've ran a little bit long. So, any parting words you like to say that we've talked about beer, baseball, and
no, not really. Half cycle, if you can get it in your area, pick it up. It's a good solid IPA.
Want to say anything about your baseball team?
And the Reds are just not good, but hopefully it'll get better.
What's the problem? Is it the talent? Is it the manager? Is it the owners? What's your issue?
Yes.
All the above.
They've got some talent, and they've recently traded some players, and at the end of last season and beginning of this year, or in the off season, making some trades to get some prospects. I think they're seriously now in the rebuilding stages, but the problem is they're kind of hand tied themselves onto about 5 contracts that they shouldn't be paying. That high of salaries to certain players. Only one of them's probably worth it, and the other 4 are getting just an outrageous amount of money for what they are.
Gotcha. Yeah.
One of them's not panned out. Jay Bruce, in my opinion, could be a solid player. Defensively, he's one of the better outfielders in the league, but he, just can't hit his weight.
And that sucks when you can't do that.
He puts up
unless you weigh about 333 pounds.
Right. He puts up some decent power numbers and whatnot. He just hasn't panned out to be the player that they drafted him to be and everybody raved about. And in all honesty, I'd like to hate to see him get traded. In a way, I want to see him get traded because I think somebody else might be able to get more out of him.
There you go.
It just seems like a lot of their prospects don't pan out the way they should. So to me, that's coaching the organization.
Coaching staff, what do you think it is?
I think it's, I can't really say because I'm not seeing the everyday things, but to me it seems like it's just an organizational thing where the player development isn't to, the par of where it needs to be with a lot of the other teams. If you're not developing them in your minor league system, which is where it all starts to get to that level.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And then again, maybe they're just over, drafting players that aren't as good as what they had hopes to be. But you would think at some point you would run out of. Seems to happen more on a yearly basis. So either it's just bad scouting,
substance.
Yeah, bad scouting, or they're just selecting the wrong guys.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm a diehard Dodger fan, and I'm kind of feel the same way you do about what's happening over there. But anyways, so hey, I'm Todd, a Beer Whisperer. We're gonna cut this one off. I'm enjoying some little helper. I'm enjoying a little whiskey. Todd and I are talking about beer and baseball. And so this is what happens here. Well, this isn't scripted, and we're just bullshit. I'm Todd, a Beer Whisperer. I want to thank Todd for joining me and everybody else that happened to listen.
Thank you.